All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. Once again, I am your host, Shabar Judah Israel, bringing you guys another lesson on today. Share this video with family and friends. Hope all is well. You're going to need a Bible for this video, King James Bible, if you will. But if you don't have King James Bible, any moderate Bible would do. Um, I will be going over Second Chronicles, 34th chapter in terms of dealing with Josiah, which was Israel' last good king. He was the last righteous king of Israel, Josiah. And so we're going to cover this chapter in Second Chronicles 34. Guys, take notes if you will. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just listen, pay attention. Um, Give double honor to the elders, salutations to the brothers. And last but not least, all praises and glorification, great honor due to Yahweh by Hashem Shai. Second Chronicles 34 verse 1. Let's get it. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign. So Josiah, I believe, he was like one of the youngest people of the book, if I'm not mistaken, to reign as king. He was only 8 years old. He reigned in Jerusalem 1 in 30 years, that is 31 years total. Second Chronicles 34 verse 2. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. So that means he kept the commandments. He walked in the days of David his father, and inclined neither to the right hand nor to the left. And so you can see right there, Josiah, he looked up to his ancestors, man. As you can see here in Second Chronicles 34 2, he walked in the ways of David, his father. And not only did he walk in the ways of David, guys, he walked in the ways of Hezekiah and Jehoshaphat, because they was prime examples to Josiah. So he walked in all of their ways, you know what I'm saying? Second Chronicles 34 and 3. For in the 8th year of his reign, while yet he was young, he was still young, he began to seek after the God of David. That's the God of Israel, the God of the Israelites, his father. And in the 12th year, when he was 12 years old, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places and the groves and the carved images and molten images. So when Josiah was like 12 to 13 years old, primarily, basically a teenager, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem. So what this means when it says he begins to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places, he started to destroy idols, because you had other Israelites that wasn't keeping the commandments, wicked Israelites that was worshiping idols and things in that nature. So when Josiah turned like 12, 13, this is what he did. Second Chronicles 34 and 4. And they broke down the altars of Baalim. Baalim was false god. They broke down the altars of Baalim in his presence, and the images that were on high above them. He cut down in the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images, and he brake in pieces, and made dust of them, and strode it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them. So wicked Israelites was sacrificing unto Baalim and false gods of that time. And Josiah was basically purging Judah and Jerusalem from idolatry, which was idol worship, by destroying these idols. So yeah. For a long time, most of the Israelites, they had been very bad. They worship false gods. They bow down to idols. So Josiah goes out with his man and begins to remove false worship from the land. All right. This is a big job because so many people worship false gods. So yeah. Continuing on, Second Chronicles 34 and 5. He burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem. That was Josiah and a couple men that was doing these things. Second Chronicles 34 and 6. And so did he in the cities of Manasseh and Ephraim. Those are two tribes of Israel. And Simeon, that's another tribe. Even Naphtali, that's another tribe of Israel, with their mattocks round about. So you can see right there, man, the cities of Manasseh, the cities of Ephraim, Simeon, and Naphtali, man. Josiah went in there and did this thing, you know what I'm saying? Second Chronicles 34:7, and when he had broken down the altars and the groves, he had beaten the graven images into powder, and he cut down all the idols throughout all the land of Israel, and he returned to Jerusalem. Now, Second Chronicles 34:8 says, now in the 18th year of his reign, when Josiah was 18, when he had purged the land, which was Judah and Jerusalem, when he purged the land and the house, he sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, and Maaseiah, the governor of the city, and Joah, the son of Joahaz, the recorder, to repair the house of the Lord, his God. That was basically the temple. Second Chronicles 34:9. And when they came to Hilkiah, the high priest, they delivered the money that was brought into the house of God, which the Levites that kept the doors had gathered of the land of Manasseh and Ephraim, and of all the remnant of Israel, and all of Judah, Benjamin, and they returned to Jerusalem. So let's focus on priest Hilkiah, because that's who they delivered the money to that was brought into the house of God, the temple. All right. So what Josiah was doing, Israel's last good king Josiah, Josiah put 3 men in charge in repairing the Most High's temple, and that money was collected from the people, and it was given to these men to pay for the work that was to be done. And while they were working of the temple, high priest Hilkiah comes to mind, because what we're going to discover is that Hilkiah, he found something that was very important in the temple, and we're going to show you what it is. Second Chronicles 34 verse 10, and they put it in the hand of the workmen that had the oversight of the house of the Lord, and they gave it to the workmen that wrought in the house of the Lord to repair and amend the house. Second Chronicles 34:11, even to the artificers, something like that, and builders gave they it to buy hewn stone and timber for couplings, and to floor the houses which the kings of Judah had destroyed. Second Chronicles 34:12, and the man did the work faithfully, and the overseers of them were Jahath and Obadiah, the Levites of the sons of Moriah and Zechariah, and Meshullam of the sons of the Kohites, to set it forth, and other of the Levites, all that could skill of instruments and music. Second Chronicles 34:13, also they were over the bearers of burdens, and were overseers of all that wrought the work in any manner of service. In all the Levites there were scribes and officers and porters. Second Chronicles 34:14. And they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. Remember, we talked about high priest Hilkiah. Hilkiah the priest found a book of the law of the Lord that was given by Moses. So like I said, while they was working on the temple, the high priest Hilkiah, he found something that was very important, and what it was the book of the law, the Torah, the book of the law of the Lord, that was given to the Israelites by Moses. And it's a very important book, because it is the very book of the law that the Most High had Moses to write long time ago, and it was lost for many years, and the book was taken to Josiah, and we're going to show you this, because it was found by priest Hilkiah, and it was taken to Josiah. We'll show you. Second Chronicles 34 and 15. And Hilkiah answered and said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. Okay. Second Chronicles 34 and 16. And Shaphan carried the book to the king, which was Josiah, and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to thy service, they do it. Second Chronicles 34 and 17. And they had gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hands of the overseers and to the hands of the workmen. Second Chronicles 34 and 18. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, which was Josiah, saying, Hilkiah the priest had given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. So Shaphan, what he did, he read the book of the law before Josiah. Second Chronicles 34 and 19. And it came to pass, when the king had heard all these words of the law, that he rent his clothes. Basically, King Josiah started tearing his clothes in half. You know, he was ripping his garments. Now, why did King Josiah was so upset that when Shaphan was reading the book of the law, it caused him to rip his garment? We'll see. Second Chronicles 34 and 20. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Abdon the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Isaiah a servant of King, saying, watch this, Second Chronicles 34 and 21. Go inquire of the Lord for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah, concerning the words of the book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord, to do all that is written in this book. So that's what drove King Josiah to ripping his garment. You see? That's what drove the king to rend his clothes, as we covered. We covered this in Second Chronicles 34 and 19. See right there? When the king heard when the king heard the book of the law that Shaphan was reading, he rent his clothes, he tore his garment, because he was upset because the children of Israel was not doing according to the Torah. They was not doing according to the book of Moses, the book of the law. So that drove him to rent his garment in anger. Because right here in Second Chronicles 34 and 21, for great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us. See what I'm saying? Because in the Torah, it tells you how the Most High, the God of Israel, put curses upon the Israelites for breaking the commandments, because their fathers didn't keep the word of the Torah, man, and to do after all that is written in the book. So that's what drove Josiah to rent his garment. See what I'm saying? Knowing that the Israelites was hard-headed and they wasn't following the laws. Second Chronicles 34 and 22. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah, the prophetess. So keep that in mind. Huldah is a female, a woman. When you see right here it says prophetess, that means she's a female prophet. You see what I'm saying? So Huldah was the prophetess at that time, which the king, which was Josiah, had appointed a high priest Hilkiah to go to, because let's see, let me get it right. So the king, Josiah said that the Most High was very angry with the Israelites because their father didn't keep the law that was written in the book. All right, and then Josiah commands high priest, which was Hilkiah, as we see right here. He commanded the high priest to find out what the Most High was going to do to the Israelites. So you know what Hilkiah did? Hilkiah, he goes to this woman named Huldah, the prophetess right here, to ask her what is going to happen to the nation of Israel for breaking the laws. You see what I'm saying? So that's why Hilkiah went to Huldah the prophetess. You see, and it says Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shalom, the son of Tikvath, the son of Hasrah, the keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they spake to her to that effect. Second Chronicles 34 and 23. And then she answered them, thus said the Lord God of Israel, tell ye the man that sent you to me. Second Chronicles 34 and 24. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book which they have read before the king of Judah. So Hadar the prophetess, you know what I'm saying, prophesied that, the Most High was going to destroy Jerusalem and all the Israelites would be punished because, they worship false gods and the land has been filled with wickedness. So Hadar the prophetess, this is what she tells high priest Hilkiah. You know what I'm saying? All the curses that was written in that book was going to fall on the Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Second Chronicles 34:25, because they have forsaken me. They wasn't keeping the laws. You know what I'm saying? And today, it's sad to say, man, a lot of us don't keep the laws because we know that today, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And it's sad to say today that we don't keep the laws, man. And I know that great destruction is coming for us. I know it. You know what I'm saying? I know great destruction is coming for us. Blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans in the United States of America and many other places that you've been scattered, destruction is coming for you, man. Because when you read the Bible, you can see how Israel, when every time they would forsake the law, the Most High would plead with them for many years by using the prophets to warn them before destruction to come. And just like in America, man, we got the brothers out there, we got the Israelites out there prophesying, warning us before destruction comes to return to the commandments, keep them to the best of our ability and do what's right. And we just still have a tendency of being rebellious. So you can rest assured that just like prophetess Huldah prophesied to Hilkiah and told Hilkiah that destruction was coming on Israel, for their disobedience, you can believe that, man, is many prophets in the United States of America. That these prophecies gonna come to pass, and the same thing gonna happen to us. Why? Second Chronicles 34 and 25. Because they have forsaken me and have burnt incense into other gods. And how you do that today is when you partake in different federal holidays. Every holiday comes with a god. You celebrate New Year's Eve. You know what I'm saying? You celebrate Valentine's Day, Easter. You see what I'm saying? All these federal holidays. You celebrate Easter, what else? Christmas, Halloween. All these federal holidays. Just look at all the federal holidays we celebrate today. We're not supposed to do that. Every federal holiday comes with a god, so that's how we burn incense into the moderate gods of today in America. We celebrate federal holidays, and also false religions that we have been entangled into, like Christianity. That comes with a god. That comes with the white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? A false white Jesus. Islam. That comes with the star and the crescent. You know what I'm saying? Catholicism, back again to the baby white Jesus. You feel what I'm saying? Hinduism, that's Krishna, Vishnu. Egyptology, Horus, Osiris, Anubis, Set, Nut, Geb. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we have continued to burn incense into gods even to this day, just in a different format. That Second Chronicles 34 and 25 says that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be poured out upon this place and shall not be quenched. And so his wrath going to be poured out upon America too. And it shall not be quenched. What that means, there's nothing you can do to stop the wrath of God once he releases it. And it's coming on us, man. Get ready, man. If you're not ready, get ready. And if you ain't right during those times, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. Because we should be seeking the Most High while he may be found. but most of us are not doing it, man. It's hard. It's an everyday process. You know what I'm saying? It's an everyday process, man. We should be trying, but it's hard out here, man. So when the wrath of God is poured out upon us in this place, take your judgment, take your punishment, man. 2 Chronicles 34:26. And as for the king of Judah who sent you to inquire of the Lord, so shall ye say unto him, thus said the Lord God of Israel concerning the words which thou hast heard. 2 Chronicles 34:27. Because thy heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before God. That's what we also be doing. When thou hearest his words against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humblest thyself before me, and didst rend thy clothes, and you wept before me, I have even heard thee also, said the Lord. So he's talking about Josiah here, because he's telling Josiah, because your heart was tender, and because you humbled yourself, when you heard my instructions, my laws against this place, he said, you know, you humbled yourself to the point that even when you heard the Israelites was breaking the laws, when it was read before you, even when the king heard Israel was not keeping the laws, he tore his garment in sorrow. You know what I'm saying? He wept before the Most High. You know, he said, because Josiah did this, 2 Chronicles 34:28, behold, I will gather you to your fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thy eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place and upon the inhabitants of the same. And so what he was telling Josiah, he was basically saying, because you have humbled yourself and kept my law, he was saying all the people of Jerusalem is going to be punished for worshiping false gods and doing all this wickedness. But he tells Josiah, he said, but because you, Josiah, have done what is good, he said the punishment will not come until after you die. See what I'm saying? So sometimes dying, like, you know what I'm saying, dying, departing this world is not always looked at as a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? He tells Josiah, he said, look, I'm gonna this punishment that I planned on putting on Israel, he said it would not come until after you die. So soon as you die, Josiah, basically right here, he said, when I gather thee to your fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace, neither shall thy eyes see all that evil. So basically, you know what? I'm going to punish the Israelites. I'm going to whoop their ass. I'm telling you, I'm going to drop the bomb on Israel, but I'm not going to do it until after you die. You see what I'm saying? And so, man, yeah. And I'm going to stop right there. You see what I'm saying? So, guys, share the video, man, with family and friends. Didn't want to make it too long. But like I said, yeah, man. Israel last good king, Josiah. Josiah is only 8 years old when he becomes king of the southern. He was only 8 years old when he became the king of Judah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Josiah at the age of a teenager, you know what I'm saying, he was destroying the idols of that land. You know what I'm saying? When he was a teenager, he was going in, destroying the idols. You know what I'm saying? And he was very a righteous king, man. So, yeah. Share the video. Shalom.